Welcome to lesson 8, which is vector drawing techniques. I have a feeling this lesson is going to be a little tougher. So what we're going to learn to do is differentiate between bitmap and vector graphics. We're going to draw straight and curved paths using the pen tool. We'll save some paths. We'll draw and edit shape layers. We'll draw custom shapes, and we're going to use smart guides. I have this picture on the screen, and let's talk a little bit about bitmap images and vector graphics. It's important to know these things. So before we work with vector shapes and vector paths, you need to know the basic difference between the two main categories of computer graphics. You have bitmap images and you have vector art or vector graphics. You can use Photoshop to work with either kind of graphic. In fact, you can combine both bitmap and vector data in an individual Photoshop image file. Bitmap images technically are called raster images, or based on a grid of dots known as pixels. And this bottom logo, and I don't know if you can tell, but this is a much crisper, cleaner picture than this. This is kind of blurry. If you were to zoom in, you can, and we've talked about this earlier, you can see the pixels. Each pixel is assigned a specific location and color value, and working with bitmap images, you edit groups of pixels rather than objects or shapes. Because bitmap graphics can represent subtle gradations of shape and color, they are appropriate for continuous tone images such as photographs or artwork created in painting programs. A disadvantage of bitmap graphics is they contain a fixed number of pixels. As a result, they can lose detail and appear jagged when scaled up on screen or printed at a lower resolution than they were created for. Vector graphics, on the other hand, are made up of lines and curves defined by mathematical objects called vectors. These graphics retain their crispness when they are moved, resized, or have their color changed. Vector graphics are appropriate for illustrations, type, and graphics such as logos that may be scaled to different sizes. In the lesson so far, we've worked with bitmap images on Photoshop layers. A different type of layer, a shape layer, contains vector graphics in Photoshop. So that's describing the two. So let me ask you again, what is an advantage of using a vector image compared to using a bitmap image? Vector images retain their crisp edges regardless of size. All right. In Photoshop, the outline of a vector shape is called a path. A path is a curved or straight line segment you draw using the pen tool, the freeform pen tool, the curvature pen tool, or a shape tool, which I've got those right here. You can see all of those different ones. The pen and curvature pen tool draws paths with great precision. Shape tools create rectangles, ellipses, and other shape paths. And the freeform pen tool draws paths as if you were drawing with a pen on paper. I will just say that I am terrible at drawing on pen and paper. Some of you would probably do better. So each tool in the tools panel is a single layer keyboard shortcut. Type the letter, get the tool. So for example, if I click away from, if I were to go to a different one, what am I doing? Oh, it's cancel this. It thought I was trying to do stuff, but I wasn't. You can see I got a dot down here. If you just type the letter P, that will give you these pen tools. Let me do this. Command D. Z. I just typed the letter P, and there's your pen tool showing you things. Press Shift with the shortcut key to cycle through any nested tools. For example, if you press P to select the pen tool, press Shift P, and that will toggle between pen, freeform pen, and curvature. Those right there, just a little tip. Paths can be opened or closed. An open path, such as a wavy line, has two distinct endpoints. A closed path, such as a circle, is continuous. The type of path you draw affects how it can be selected and adjusted. Unlike the pixels created by the painting tools, a path doesn't make a printable mark on its own. A path is more like a selection marquee in vector form, so you can use a path to mark an area of a layer with pixels using a fill, color, pattern, or other content, or a stroke, which is the outline. To use the path as a vector object that you can fill, stroke, print, export, and continue to edit as a vector object, create it as a shape layer, which is what we are going to do. In this lesson, we're going to create a postcard that will help promote a citrus fruit farm. This is what our end product is going to look like. You've been given an image of oranges, but because the farm wants to convey the idea that they grow more than just oranges, it's been decided that one of the oranges will be recolored to look like a lemon. See that this one is yellow. Recoloring one item requires isolating it by creating a mask of its outline, and a quick and precise way to create a clean outline of that item is using the pen tool to draw a vector path. So this is what we are going to start with, and you can see right here we're going to do this with the path tool. That's what we'll start with. This is what we will end with. All right. So